I don't always use a video to respond to comments, but when I do, it's because it'll get me even closer to absolute content. Absolutely. My name is Krumbine, and this is Emergency Creative, a place where I examine the intersection of creative expression, creative process, and mental health. If that sounds interesting, or if you just want a little support on your own creative journey, be sure to like and subscribe. Regular viewers know that, well, I hate content. And my hatred for content is one of my favorite subjects. The normalization of the lowest common denominator, swipe and a scroll, rage bait, 0-calorie garbage content is either at the center of or closely related to so many areas of creative art and creative process that it is actually hard to ignore. To be fair, my primary pet peeve is the literal word content, mainly because it is so fucking disrespectful and self-destructive. I will spare you the rant. You can watch my other video on the subject if you haven't already. And that video, that was my second quote-unquote big video for this new channel, and there were a lot of great comments. Thank you all so much for watching, commenting, and just hanging out in general. Said comment from @OKRaylos. Have you ever visited the Louvre? They have pretty good content there. You know, there is so much more to that comment, but this one line is just so fucking perfect. It really underscores what it is I'm talking about when I say the word content is disrespectful. Another one from @X139T. Thank you for you input, Timu Steve Jobs. Aww. Thank you. Look, I know it's an insult, but if there is a role model for creative expression in the corporate workspace at very least, well, I mean, it is Steve Jobs. And yes, the dude had his problems, but the dude also understood the value of creative, which is the single greatest struggle I face every day in my professional career. Interesting side note, actually, my channel description about the intersection of creative expression, creative process, and mental health, it's a subtle nod to Jobs' explanation of a core Apple philosophy and how the company, at least under Jobs' leadership, existed at the intersection of technology and liberal arts. Good stuff. Finally, @EatButter. I don't agree with the presupposition that all content is art. Like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but like 99% of what people post online is trash. Most content creators online really should call their content content instead of art. Bro. Dude. Do you even creative? I actually really like this comment, even though the idea that I argued all content is art, well, it's completely false. My audience, theoretically, are artists of some stripe or another. Therefore, all of their alleged content would be art if they weren't interested in devaluing and disrespecting themselves and their work. However, this comment raises, well, it raises a really good fucking point. Because yes, all art is content, but not all content is art. That's kind of the crux of why the word content is so fucking shitty. When generic, mass-produced AI slop and an installation at the Louvre are both called content, what even is content anyway? And if all art is content and all artists are creative, are all content creators creative? Am I creative? More importantly, are you creative? I have thoughts. First, let's define the line between content and art. And I'm talking, real content, not the umbrella term that everyone uses. Let's call art anything that carries intentionality, or better yet, effort. I may have intentionally snapped a photo, but a photograph with effort, well, it elevates it, artistically speaking. Let's also define art as having emotional depth and a personal imprint, that unique individual creative expression. So then we can define content as anything, well, without those qualities. Content is easy to churn. It's created primarily to capture as much attention as quickly as possible, and often consumed and discarded at an equally rapid rate. The line between art and content, therefore, becomes an actual tightrope. Maybe we set out to make art to begin with, but the pressure of performing on YouTube or social media relentlessly pushes us away from the ideal of personal creative expression. That is why the question of creativity, are all content creators creative? Are you creative? This is why this question is so important. Shooting, assembling, and posting a video online is, well, it's not an act of creativity. It is a technical process that can be accomplished by anyone who is capable of pushing fucking buttons. Look, I have no journalistic background or aspirations, but I still ended up working as a video producer at a major metro newspaper for a few years. I worked alongside a brilliant Emmy-winning photojournalist, other photojournalists who were absolutely at the top of their games, and other people were there too, I guess. I was shocked to discover that the people I thought of as my creative peers were producing material that would have embarrassed a middle school AV club. And no, I am not talking about the print reporters who were being shoved into video production. I am talking about my fellow video editors and producers. I learned a lot during my time at the newspaper, both from my Emmy-winning cubicle mate and from the ridiculously low bar for content and content creators in a professional environment. I learned that just because a job looks creative doesn't mean it actually is. I learned that people who push buttons to assemble a video, they don't necessarily require any creative instincts or even storytelling instincts, which is pretty fucking weird for a newspaper whose entire bread and butter is, well, stories. Most importantly, I learned that not everyone understands what it means to be creative. And that is a theme that has played out over and over and over again throughout my life. Yes, of course, you can bring creative problem solving to technical processes and problems. You can also just as easily not. You can be bursting with innovative ideas and unique, fresh perspectives on old, tired concepts. That is creativity. You can also, just as easily, not. You can be creative and be good at it, or not, but still tenaciously pursue your art and craft. You know, on one hand, I have absolutely no desire to gatekeep or even contribute to the gatekeeping of the creative space. On the other hand, in light of all the content slop from people chasing algorithms, chasing a quick buck, or just cosplaying as creatives, I don't know, maybe a little gatekeeping is in order, like a smidge. I honestly, I really don't know. What I do know is that if you have the creative instinct, fucking chase after it with everything you've got. But be mindful of the content slop, the pressure of the algorithms, and the allure of bullshit internet success, so that the content you do create, it will always be art. That's it for this one. Like and subscribe if you like liking and subscribing. And if you are even slightly as over the word content as I am, you should take a break from reality with this dramatic performance of an excerpt from my novel, Abraham Owens is Punched, Drunk, and All Out of Fucks. It's about a brawler-type goon crippled with super empathy and the rise of the alt-right in his city. I wrote it at a time when the world seemed to be forgetting that Nazis are always the bad guys. And all of these years later, it really seems like absolutely nothing has changed. Yay?